Hi guys, welcome to 4 Idiots React. This is Anam from Pakistan.
Namaste, guys. This is your boy Daniel from Kazakhstan.
Nabro
I
Pajala
forgot my own intro.
I said it
You guys
wrong, but
remember
yeah.
Yeah, we got you.
Hello guys, this is Zahra from Iran. Salam Dostay Aziz, and today we are reacting to something very interesting. Very interesting. Actually,
Very
the
nice.
most interesting
Out of all videos.
we have ever reacted to. So we are watching Geography Now Iran today.
Yes.
And I'm actually very interested to see what he will tell that I don't know about my own country.
We'll fact check him. Oh.
Yes.
Yes, many people requested us to do Geography Now India, but also many people asked for doing Geography Now Iran, Pakistan, and Kazakhstan. So I guess this is the second series of us doing first Iran and then later our countries.
Yes,
And for
so-
Pakistan specifically, we want our dear friend Sufyan to be there.
Yes, we want all 4 idiots to be here,
Yes.
and he's my enemy, so he will be there. He has to be there.
Yes.
I'll put it in his face.
Yeah.
Watch. So let's all get some information about Iran.
Yes. very
Yes.
educational. I love educational videos. Let's
Yes.
Yes,
Let's
let's go.
Do not call most of these people Arabs.
Don't call there.
Don't.
Geography now! Everybody, I'm your host Barbie. Okay, let me break this down so you can quickly get the distinction. You've heard of Persia, right? The Persian Empire, Persian rugs, Persian cats, the Prince of Persia, which by the way,
Yes.
Disney got incredibly accurate. Yes, Persia is pretty much synonymous with Iran. Now, not everyone in Iran is Persian, but it's a huge part of their story, which we will begin discussing now. Okay, let's be frank. Iran seems to get their fair share of the news quite often in the Western media. However, conflict issues aside, Iran has a deep history and story in the Middle East that extends millennia in the past that would probably be wise to educate yourself on. First of all, Iran is located in Western Asia, bordered by 7 other countries, as well as the Caspian Sea to the north, the Persian Gulf, and the Gulf of Oman to the south, divided by the Strait of Hormuz, which is like one of the most important sea passages in the world. Hey! It's Arabian Gulf. Yeah, most people have called it Persian Gulf, and it's been that way for centuries. Plus, Arabs have their own sea. Just let them have it. The country is divided into 31 provinces, with the capital Tehran located in the north-central region. Now keep in mind, before Tehran, Iran actually had 30 previous capitals throughout
Wow.
their history, more than any other country in the world.
Shiraz
Of course,
and
Iran also
Isfahan
divides
was
the country into 5 non-constituent unit regions for administrative purposes, each one containing 6 provinces, except for one region containing 7, which also includes the capital. Finally, although they are administered by Iran, the country also has a current dispute over the Abu Musa and the Greater and Lesser Tum Islands with the United Arab Emirates, nearby the
Okay.
Strait of Hormuz in the Persian Gulf. After Tehran, the largest cities are Mashhad in the east and Isfahan in the center, and the largest airports are, of course, Tehran's 2 twins, Mehrabad and Imam Khomeini International, Mashhad International, and Shiraz International. Iran also takes ownership of about 30 or so islands in the Gulf, and technically 1 island in the Caspian Sea, Ashur Ade Island, which, however, it's kind of
I
more
didn't
like a
know this,
Muslim
by
peninsula.
the way.
One thing you have to understand is that
Whoa,
Iran
wow.
takes their position and borders very seriously, as they are kind of like a land bridge located right at the crossroads between the Middle East, the Caucasus, as well as the Central and South Asian regions. The most important and largest seaport would be Bandar Abbas, which also houses the Iranian Navy, located right at the entrance of the Strait of Hormuz. Otherwise, due to its incredible history, Iran is overflowing with landmarks and sites. Some of the top notable ones might include places like Naqsh Jahan Square, Milad Tower,
I've been, I've
Golestan
been.
Palace, Persian Garden, the Armenian
Wow,
monastic
wow,
ensembles
this
of
place looks
Iran,
amazing.
Tomb of
Oh my God,
Hafez,
that's
the Zadi
amazing.
Tower Freedom Monument, the Pigeon Tower, Yazd, the holiest place for Zoroastrians, Chogazanbil Zikrat, the Mayamand Cave Village, the Imam Reza Shrine, the
Wow.
Khaju Bridge, Argebam, the Shushtar Hydraulic System, the Tomb of Cyrus the Great, the Tomb of Daniel. Too many famous mosques and shrines to list, and pretty much everything in Persepolis. Iran was able to build so much of their own personal space, partially due to the fact that they were easily well protected by natural boundaries or barricaded in. You decide. Let's explain in. You know what's funny? The world's hottest surface temperature ever recorded was 70.7 degrees Celsius in the
70
Lut
degrees.
Desert in Iran, and yet Iran is also like the best ski resort
Yeah.
area in the Middle
really?
East. First of all, Iran's most important topographical barriers are the Zakhros Mountains in the west, which also contain the largest lake, Urmia, and the mountains also feed the longest river, the Karun, in the south, which flows into the Gulf, as well as the Alborz Mountains along the north, which contain the largest mountain, Mount Damavand, which is also the
Yeah.
tallest volcano in all of Asia, like it's still active. There's so much mining potential in these mountains as well, which makes Iran the largest producer of turquoise and
Wow.
zinc. Otherwise, they have two main deserts, the Kavir and Lut, located in the central plateau. And the only
What?
real
No,
flat
no,
part of
this was
Iran
wrong.
is in the Khuzestan region right next to Iran. Iran is
Kavir
right on the
means
boundary of the
desert.
Arabian and Eurasian tectonic plates, which in
Kavir is
return makes
not a
Iran the
desert.
country with the most number of major earthquakes of at least 5.5 on the Richter
Oh
scale.
yeah, there was
annually.
recently one.
Mine are bigger. Yeah, well, mine are explodier. Now, Iran is kind of like the strange anomaly that
Exploding.
sticks out from the rest of the Middle East because it has alpine mountains,
Oh my
Wow,
God.
Iran is so
snow,
amazing.
water,
So
and
good.
green, especially in the
That's
north
so many
along the coast of the
places.
Caspian. I mean, sure, there are dry, arid deserts too, but overall, Iran is a lot more lush. This allows them to harbor river valleys for agriculture, which makes them the #1 producer of pistachios,
Wow,
saffron,
Pistachios.
stone fruits.
Saffron.
By the way, Iranians
love
love
those.
saffron. They put it in like half of everything.
I
Speaking
swear
of
to God.
Tea, right?
Saffron in
pomegranate walnut
everything.
stew, kuku, mirza kasemi,
Kuku.
various
Oh,
rice
this looks
dishes
good.
like
Oh,
chul,
this looks like
rice,
biryani.
bakala, lubia, shirin, various kebabs like
Bakala.
chuche, kubide, torsh, and bakhyari.
I
Desserts
usually
like
don't know
bozwar,
any.
pudding,
Those were
halva,
types of
sashir,
kebab.
bami, mochochi, and falude. By the way,
Falude!
alcohol is
We have falude.
Alcohol is technically banned, however, people kind of smuggle it in and have their connections. Even the cops are kind of getting tired of trying to crack down.
They're getting tired.
Two other things Iran cannot live without: tea and caviar. In fact,
Caviar?
the largest
Yes,
producer of
come
caviar
in.
in the world, mostly from sturgeons fished off the coast of the
Russians
Yeah.
love it as
Speaking of
well.
which, Iran surprisingly has quite an array of wildlife, including gazelles, wolves,
I
falcons,
love
storks,
gazelles.
What doesn't Iran have?
famous Persian
Persian
waiting for
cats
that.
are a
Iran is
thing.
home to some of the
Yeah,
last
I know
only
Persian
few
cats.
remaining surviving Persian lions, which is, by the way, the national animal.
Persian
leopards,
lions?
and yes, even Asiatic cheetahs.
national
Wait.
Persian
Like
leopards?
African animals.
Actually, a lot of animals we affiliate with Africa had historically roamed all across the Middle East and Southern Asian
Okay.
regions, which is why today we have elephants in India, rhinos in Indonesia. Unfortunately, most of them have been killed off or are incredibly endangered.
No.
Especially the rhinos.
No! The biggest natural
Or the
resource, though,
poaching.
would have to be, no surprise, oil. Iran is the second largest oil producer in the Middle
Oh my
East after
God.
Saudi Arabia, and about 60%.
What?
That's crazy.
I didn't
In
know
Middle
that.
East,
It's
yeah.
estimated that the country should have about 125 billion barrels in reservoirs, 10% of the world's total reserves.
guys are
and put out
rich.
About 4
Wow.
million barrels a day. That's a lot. So with all the geographic isolation but abundance of resources, you might wonder, what is life like in Iran? Well, I'm so glad you asked.
This should be
Now,
fun.
Iran is interesting because it's caught in this strange new transition period in which everything in the new generation of millennials has a tincture of subtle defiance. First of all, Iran has about 80 million people and is the second most populated country in the Middle East after Egypt and has the highest number of Shias in the world. About 62% of the country is ethnically Persian, whereas the second largest ethnic groups are the Azeris.
Wow.
What?
Really?
Yeah, Azerbaijani.
While the
Yeah,
remaining is
Azeris
made up
and
of
Kurds.
smaller but noticeable groups like the Lurs, the
Oh,
Baluchis,
Baluchis?
Arabs, Turkic
Yeah,
groups, and
Baluchis.
others. They also use the Iranian rial as their currency. They use the type CEF outlets, and they drive on the right side of the road.
Isn't
let's
it
emphasize
Tuman,
this one
not
more time.
Riyal?
Persians are
Riyal
not
makes Tuman. Riyal is
Arabs.
the-
That's like the
Persians
worst
are not
thing
Arabs.
First of all, what is it like to be a Persian?
Persians
well,
are not
you have to
Arabs.
understand that Iran evolved a lot differently from all the other countries in the Middle East. History will take way too long to explain, but the quickest way I can put it, Proto-Elamites, Elam, Median Empire, Persian or Achaemenid Empire, Alexander the Great, the Seleucid, Parthian, and Sassanid empires. Islam enters through the Umayyad Caliphate, the Abbasid Caliphate,
Oh, I
Safarids
know
and
these
Samanids come in from the
Abbasid.
east. Then some weird splitting up, the Ghaznavids,
Some weird splitting up.
Mongols!
Oh no!
Timurids,
Wow, that was
Safavids,
fast.
and Afsharid empires, the Zand and Qajar dynasties,
Oh my
quick
goodness.
Pahlavi dynasty, Islamic
Pahlavi.
Republic, a little drama here and there,
Very
and
cool.
here we go.
Very
The
cool.
pronunciation
Islamic
of
Republic,
Iran
yeah.
would probably be the language. The official language of Iran is Persian or Farsi, an Indo-European language also spoken in Afghanistan and Tajikistan, although they have their own dialects, which is completely unintelligible to Arabic. The second largest distinction would be that they are the largest Shia Muslim country in the world with doctrines that run their ideologies and legislation. If you don't know the
Yeah,
difference
go.
between Sunnis and Shias, basically Shias believe that Muhammad's cousin and son-in-law Ali was supposed to be the rightful successor rather than Abu Bakr, who became the first caliph. If you don't know what any of that means, let me make it even easier. Shias, this guy. Sunnis, no, this guy. Done. The interesting thing though is
Done.
that still
That's
follows
it.
a lot of ancient Persian customs and traditions that predate even Islam. For example, for over 3,000 years, Persians and other Persian-related people groups across the world still celebrate Nowruz, or Persian New Year, usually on March 21st, or the vernal equinox. A mostly secular holiday, however, it actually has roots and is considered holy to Zoroastrians. Zoroastrianism actually started in Iran and at one point was actually the state religion. Persians
What
also
is
have their own
Zoroastrianism?
distinct art, which usually depicts human figures more
I'm
often than
exactly
other
not
Sunni
sure
cultures.
about
They
it,
have their
but
own
it's about,
traditions, clothing,
like, they
music,
respect fire
opera,
and stuff.
poetry, sports. I mean, polo was invented here, and They have that
I'm not
ancient
sure.
warrior training thing. They have handicrafts. I mean, everybody knows that Persian rugs are like
Yes.
some of the most sought after in the world. But remember, not all Iranians are Persians, and some of these
Iran.
groups have expressed separatist movement desires in the past, but with pretty much no actual success. The second largest group, the Turkic Azeris or Azerbaijanis, mostly live in the northwest along the borders of Turkey and the Caucasus regions, where their cousins, the actual Azerbaijanis in Azerbaijan, live. They are basically the same people, except one group speaks Farsi. Although exact numbers are kind of hard to estimate, today there are about twice as many to 3 times more Azeris living in Iran than there are in Azerbaijan. Then you have the Kurds that live along the west as well, and then you have the Arabs that mostly inhabit the flat Khuzestan areas by Iraq. You have the Baluchi people in the southwest along the border with Pakistan. Each of these people groups has their own language, culture, and history. Oh, and keep in mind, Persia is mentioned numerous times in the Bible. Iranian Jews believe that they are descended from Queen Esther, and they, as well as Christians, believe that King
He
Cyrus
said that
was
borders
prophesied in the book of
Pakistan.
Isaiah. Speaking of which, although the vast majority of the population is Shia Muslim, there are communities of non-Muslims, mostly Christians and Jews. However, outside religions are strictly monitored and confined to only a few places of worship, as it is illegal to build churches or synagogues. Selling of literature is illegal, and apostasy from a Muslim is punishable, which is funny because just like in China, Iran has one of the fastest growing underground Christian communities in the world, and disputedly the most in the Middle East. So how does Iran hold all these people together? Well, in order to speed up the Persian assimilation process, other languages are banned from schools, and they have a system in which cooperation is rewarded and resistance is punished by the IRGC. So it's kind of like, join us, and the rewards shall be bountiful. I have my own thing going on, but thanks. Join. The government is a little confusing. You have both the regular legislators and then you have the theocratic leaders. Essentially, the Ayatollah has the most power. He is not only the leader of the country, but also the entire Shia community inside and outside of Iran. He's selected by a community of clerics called the Assembly of Experts, whom also have authority to approve all of the presidential candidates during election time. From there, the president appoints people to the various ministries and offices, whereas the Ayatollah appoints the military leader and handles all other various duties. I don't want to say the Ayatollah is like the Pope of the Shia faith, but in some ways he kind of is. This is kind of where the Islamic Revolution comes into play and where all the modern drama with Iran kind of starts. Long story short, they took down the Shah, which they believed was a Western puppet figure, and then they instituted a more conservative Islamic republic. This changed everything. The thing is, this was all nearly half a century ago. Today, an entirely new generation of modernized, digital, tech-savvy Iranians has entered the stage, and the country is seeing a completely new culture shift that they can't stop. About 70% of the country is under 30 years old, many of whom don't really even like the rules, which means we have a lot of intrepid youths running the show now. Even the police are getting way more lenient because the police are getting younger too. Everyone in Iran is now kind of trying to find like loopholes and subtle cheats to avoid the religiously imposed laws. Although the hijab is required for all women in public, most women just loosely wear it, exposing their necks and front hair, almost as if it's like a fashion accessory rather than a religious article. Skateboarding, punk rock, and metal culture has already penetrated the youth, even women. Although it's interesting because it's like Persian punk rock and metal. Underground clubs and parties all the time, wearing whatever they want with open bars and music. If you catch them in their element, Persians are actually seriously like some of the most fun people you'll ever meet. And the crazy thing
they know this.
It's not shockingly new to the police or government. It gives them a little bit of a headache, but after half a century, it's kind of like, dude, whatever. You didn't really expect that. Did you? Persian punk rock rebels with hijabs and skateboards, right? And that's what
I've never seen something like that.
Skip this part.
No, that contract thing, there's no
Friend
But here's
zone.
where things get a little tricky because in order to understand Iran's outside relations, again, you kind of have to look at Iran through the lens of both pre- and post-1979 revolution. First of all, Iraq is sometimes called Arab Iran, although don't say that to them, as they have the second highest population of Shias and hold 2 incredibly important holy Shia sites. They've mostly moved on from the war in the 80s, and the two have good ties, mostly. Afghanistan and Tajikistan are like their cousins that have different political views, and it's awkward when they have dinner together, but nonetheless, they still mostly get along. Russia and Venezuela are probably the best friends outside of the Middle East, as Hugo Chavez frequently visited Ahmadinejad and made numerous trade deals. The Iranian car company Khodro is imported and partially manufactured in Venezuela, and Russia was like a key ally in many of the war conflicts post-revolution. Surprisingly, they are also one of the few countries that have kind of decent ties to North Korea. They've pledged cooperation in education and cultural spheres in the past. The Azerbaijanis of the north, of course, love Azerbaijan, no surprise. Bahrain is like Saudi Arabia's girlfriend that they keep trying to flirt with and steal. When it comes to their best friends, though, most Iranians I talk to have said probably Syria and Turkey, although it's a little complicated, especially with all the current drama going on. Turkey and Iran have more or less always been on good terms,
Yeah,
especially in
Turkey.
business. They are working on a
Turkey
plan to
same
enter
for
the
us.
European petroleum industry to rival Russia. Each country makes up a large population of tourists that visit each other every year.
Okay.
Syria, or more specifically the Syrian government, has more or less worked alongside with Iran numerous times in the past and has been a key ally not only in diplomacy but also strategically, as they kind of give them access to the Mediterranean. In conclusion, Iran is kind of like a land that is constantly trying to figure out a way to reconcile the revolutionary ideals upon a fast-paced social media-induced generation of quiet culture rebels while simultaneously dealing with outside stigma. What will Iran look like in 20 years? I don't know, but one thing we do know is that the young people will be ruling it. Stay tuned.
Young people like Zahra.
Young people.
That's nice. So much
Okay.
info about Iran.
Punk rock, Hijabi rock.
I actually
punk.
pretty much knew most of it.
I
Like
was
Nice.
shocked.
I think 2-3 things I was a bit not sure about. The island that was on the north of Iran, I didn't even know about it. I haven't heard about it. The south ones I've heard, the ones in Persian Gulf, and yeah, it was interesting.
And the places to visit, like historical places.
Oh,
Do you know about
yeah.
them?
Yeah, like most of
They
them
look
I've
nice.
been to actually. Like only I think 2-3 out of them I haven't gone to yet, but I have heard about them. But yeah, they're actually interesting.
I was so shocked when I heard 70% is young youth population.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah,
That's
by the way, I
insane.
knew that our population is like younger, but I didn't know this much. Like 70%
So
under 30.
usually when you go, you see like a lot of young people.
Yeah. Mostly they're young
That's
people.
very
yeah.
cool.
So you mean like parents are also young? That means, right?
Yeah, probably, right? Probably.
No, I mean under 30. Like in general, when I'm walking in the streets, and like different cities are different, but in Tehran personally, maybe out of 10 people, 7 or 8 are like under 30. You know what I mean? When I'm in the street.
How does it work? But like, wouldn't parents get old or something?
Does that mean like they die fast?
Yeah.
Do we
I
get
was
like-
But is that right though? I'm not sure
not
about
sure.
How
that.
old
Accurate
is this
it is.
video?
I'm not sure how. Yeah.
Let's check.
Oh my god, are
It's
you
5
serious?
years ago.
This is
Oh,
5 years ago.
But still, like it doesn't mean that.
Does that mean lifespan in Iran is short?
Mm,
But then if the person was 30, now he's 35, still young,
yeah.
right? But
I
one thing
mean-
that actually surprised me about this video, I didn't know that Iran was as diverse as it is, like on this video. Like Azerbaijanis, Kurdish people,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Like
It's very surprising.
it's like the percentage. They're like. I think around 20% of the whole population is a combination of like Kurd, Azeris, Arabs, and all
wow,
that.
wow, that's interesting.
I was
That's a
also
good thing.
surprised when there was like the second most oil production after Saudi in Middle East.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I didn't
But in
know
the
that.
world, they're 26th, I think, right now, in terms of oil.
But Saudi has a lot of oil anyway.
So
right?
yeah, but Iran is second.
Yeah.
So that's insane.
That's
so who's
crazy.
first
Saudi.
So
in the
In the
world?
middle, in the world.
in the world, it's,
Was it in the Middle East or in the world?
Wait,
They were saying in the Middle
do
East.
you know which country
In
is
the
in the world?
world.
Can you Google it? Where's
Could
the-
be
Yeah.
Saudi.
Oh, my phone.
Because I read it recently, but I forgot which
I
one.
think it's Saudi.
I don't think it's Saudi. It was some
Or
other
US.
country. No, not even US.
The richest country in terms of oil.
Oil, yeah.
Oil reserves by 2022. Let me see. So the number one, Venezuela.
Ah, yeah,
Oh my
Venezuela.
God. But
yeah.
it's not
Who is
a
an
rich.
ally of Iran, as this video
Yeah.
shows.
But it's not a rich country, right? Venezuela.
I mean, there's a lot of undisclosed things happening. I
That is
guess.
really weird.
Yeah, Saudi is second, Canada is third, and fourth is Iran.
What?
Yeah, Canada. Can
Yeah,
you have
I
oil?
Oh,
vessel?
in terms of nuclear power, Iran is 26th. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh
Okay,
my
let
god,
me see
26?
Yeah.
Pakistan is high actually, I think, on nuclear power.
Iran is
Man,
fourth
Libya,
actually.
even Libya has a lot of oil.
I mean, I
Interesting.
think by 5 years ago he was saying something else, but yeah, like fourth in oil, that's a lot. That's a lot of oil.
Yeah, but Iran also has like not just dry deserts, but it's
Yeah.
produces
Bro,
like
every type of like land
Landscape.
landscape they call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. whatever they call it, is there in Iran. Like
Mountains,
and
valleys.
four
Yeah,
proper
exactly.
seasons, like 3 months of winter, 3 months of
Yeah.
This is nice.
yeah, it's like so good.
It has. They said it has the hottest desert and the coldest. What's it called? The ski, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The thing is, one thing is that wrong. It was like they have 2 deserts,
Mhm.
and it's Kavir and Lut. But
Okay.
Lut's name is Kavir Lut. Kavir
So it's
means
one
desert. Yeah. So no, there are 2 deserts. The other one I don't remember what it's called, but it's one of them is Kavir Lut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we fact checked him just now.
Yes.
By an Iranian
bro.
person.
Get
Oh.
your facts together, bro.
Correct yourself.
Or maybe imagine if I'm wrong. No, but I know it's not that. But why? Anyway.
Okay.
No,
That was
another thing that they
interesting.
do is like they add saffron and. Like,
Oh my
many of
god,
their
saffron is the best thing ever.
They have saffron.
It's like they
in
call it the red gold.
things.
Okay.
So they
Saffron
added
apparently can cure cancer also in your
Yes,
country.
we have something called
Or
nabat.
maybe saffron also reverses age as the highest
Oh,
percentage
yeah.
of population are young.
Or maybe it also reduces the lifespan because it's like only young people and no old
Yeah.
people. We never know.
It's up to you, like
know.
whatever you want to use it for. You know?
Actually, even in Pakistan, they use saffron a lot, but not like
Not
as much.
as Iran.
You guys use it in tea also.
So what's the
We put
weirdest
in
thing
tea, we
they do
put
with
in-
saffron?
We put in sweets mostly.
What's the weird? Like they put it in tea, I know, but like where else do they put it?
In rice? Is that
Oh
weird?
my
Is
god.
it
No,
weird?
no, that's not
It's
weird.
not
That's
weird?
okay for me. I mean, for you, it's completely
We don't
weird.
even- I didn't
You
even know
put
what
it in
saffron
sweets.
was.
We put it in sweets.
We put it in sweets and drinks and
In
ice cream and
Oh my god.
Everywhere,
Okay.
basically.
yeah, basically you have
Nice.
everything that has saffron in it.
Okay.
Anything edible, basically.
That was nice.
So the next time an
And-
Iranian friend of mine comes to my place, I'll make sure I'll add saffron, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or you should
But
ask
the
them to
fun,
bring
the
saffron.
thing is, saffron doesn't even have much of a taste. I don't know why they added that.
It has a taste.
It's like it's very
Sweet.
slight,
It has a. I don't know. It's hard to express
and
the taste.
it's very expensive also, saffron.
Oh.
Like per gram of it. That's why
Oh.
they call it red gold and shit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
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 It's expensive in Iran.
Nice.
And but I like how they smash it also. They pour it in something and they smash it, and then they mix it with like boiled water or something to mix it with rice and stuff. But that smashing part is like so fun. I always do it for my mom.
It's crunchy.
Anyway, yeah, it's like. Okay. Okay. This was fun. I
Yes.
loved watching this video. I
New
don't know about you
information.
guys.
No, of course,
I
definitely.
liked it.
Educational
It was
videos
so
are
nice.
also always fun.
Yeah.
And Iranians are not Arabs.
Iranians are not Arabs.
Yeah.
No, Persians are not Arabs. Don't expect every Persian to know Arabic, please. I heard that a lot. So, yeah, thank
And
you
it's
guys.
not Iran, it's Iran.
Yes, please.
for the white
People
people.
from US and UK and any white person. It's
US
Iran.
and UK mostly. It's not hard to say Iran.
Iran.
Honestly,
It's not Iran. It's not Iran. It's not Iran. It's Iran.
Yeah.
Iran.
Iran.
Iran. It's
Okay.
actually that's what they're doing right now. Okay, anyway.
Okay, never mind.
Bad joke. Thank you for watching this. Like, subscribe, comment if you want to watch the Geography Now Pakistan, Geography Now Kazakhstan. Let us know in the comments below, and we're gonna react to them as well. And bye.
Bye.